It's all yours.
Thanks.
I accidentally
I
muted you.
agree with.
Hold on. Can you hear me? Yeah. I didn't sense letting you do anything really, but I'll take your word for it. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Is anyone, the topic here is non-duality. And the active ingredient in non-duality really is to see what you're not, basically. Be aware of what you're not, understand what you're not, recognize what you're not. Yeah. And in doing so, there's a finding out of what you are. And that's the only thing you can come about to what already is. Yes. You can find out about what you are through seeing or being aware of what you're not. Yeah. And when that starts to occur, there's usually a sense, a very strong sense, that you've been trying to find what you are from what you're not. Yeah. It's that just the contrast is so stark. So if it hits you sufficiently, it hopefully will trigger a loss of interest in trying to see what you are from what you're not. Yes. And then that interest that used to go in that direction will look at what you're not. And I think in a way, one in a way works and one doesn't work. Yeah. And the reason why one doesn't work is you are already that which you're looking for. That's the assumption of non-duality. Yeah. Being ourselves reality. It doesn't say any reality needs to fulfill any requirements to be itself. It just says being ourselves reality. The greatest mystery is reality wanting to attain reality. Now, does that fit? Do you feel like maybe, just maybe, that's actually a much clearer description of what's been going on in my life than my descriptions? Yeah, maybe it has a much more, let's say, all-encompassing view, and it captures me. Yeah, it captures a you looking for its supposed self. Yeah. That's the hope in a way. That's the message. And then when you get that feeling of the seeker is the sought, or what's looking is what you're looking for, and the immediacy of that, there's a loss of interest. There's not you losing interest. There's a loss of interest in you losing interest, really. There's a loss of interest in that you. And that's what you are attempting to do through being super interested in you. It doesn't work. Recognizing it's not you, it will provoke a loss of interest in it. And then voila, there'll be a sense that you are what you're looking for. So eureka, you've arrived. And when you arrived, it tells you on having never left. That's the basis of your arrival. So is it going to increase the desire to arrive, or is it going to diminish the desire to arrive? Every time supposedly you arrive is greeted with on having never left. Obviously, it's going to diminish the drive to arrive, yes? That's it. That's its whole point. The whole point is to stop, hear the message, and maybe you'll look at what wants to understand, or you'll see what wants to know. And maybe, just maybe, that bondage of taking yourself to be that with no evidence, it's just implied and insinuated and referred all day, but take that sense of seeing you're not that provokes a lot that you can't provoke as that. Yeah, it's just that simple. What we do as that is we believe our spiritual practices are destroying something and it's reinforcing something. That's the situation. Yeah. looking for something with a belief that it's been lost, yeah, it's never going to bring about a being found, because it's not true. It wasn't lost. And they have all these parables about it all the time. The lady with the necklace, and she thinks she lost it. She convinces her friends she's lost it. They hunt to find it. They look around YouTube to see if anyone's talking about finding a necklace. And then they're going to try to mimic what they did to find their necklace, to find their own necklace. All the while, the necklace hasn't gone anywhere. Why is that said so much in non-duality? It's a basic theme of the humor of non-duality, is what's looking is what you're looking for. Yeah. I mean, do you feel like, all right, being ourselves reality, does that set off a fleet of ships to arrive at the other shore? Or does the whole ship get dismissed and people go on leave? Yeah. Then now you have the ship as a beautiful piece of art. It's incredible. Maybe you can cruise around the harbor, but you're not going on a huge journey to arrive because you've never left. And maybe it helps to repeat it. So that's what we do. Who would have thought Paul Hedderman would show up at Awakening Together? It just doesn't make any sense at all. Really, in a lot of ways. Yet here we are. So just repeat, 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 repeat. Because I know that seeming sentinel that's 24/7 ain't 24/7. Selfing has a lot of lapses, and then the brilliance is available. So you just got to keep sending the message, and they get through, like the spiritual sperm. At least one of them's going to get through and hit the mother egg, and the mother egg's going to conceive an idea. What's that idea? Not that I can become what I am, but hey, it sees what it's not. Yeah. And the reason why it's valuable to see what it's not, there was a taking itself seemingly to be that. If there wasn't that taking yourself to be it, it would be pointless. Who would want to study about what you're not if you're very clearly not that? Yeah. But we study about what we're not because there's a sense of being exactly that which we're studying. Yeah. And the idea of know thyself, I think that's a bogus statement, man. Unless you see thyself as something other than you, then all right, go ahead, know thyself. Because if you know thyself, you'll see it's not you. You will, yeah. And the idea of I'm going to be in my authentic self, give me a freaking break. Literally. Who's going to authenticate? Who's going to authenticate? Who's the expert who's going to authenticate the self that seems to get developed? All right, I authenticate with the great commission from the higher commission that you've authenticated self. That's what self does all day. It authenticates itself. That's what it does. There's no self. It's constantly signing the notary public. Yeah, there was a self, there will be a self, therefore there is a self. I proclaim of the God of all gods in the small mental state. Yeah, so it's authenticating itself all day. Now you want to go out there and find your authentic self? Jeez, it's insane. Who's the hell's going to tell you who's the recognizer of all authentic selves? Yeah. You know what I mean? All right. Bring him to the high commission. He says he's become authenticated. Well, yeah, it just gets, doesn't it really? Yeah. Do we have to make it, we have to gild it so much if we just want to get with, hang out with a community? Why do we have to have a spiritual goal that we're all single-minded about? Just, hang out with people. Come to Satsang. We have a community from the Zooms we do without any intention of ever producing a community. Yeah. Yeah. The greater part of the community, I'm not in it. I just show up for the talks. And I go away, and then everyone becomes great friends. It's fantastic. So I wanted to read, if you don't mind. People have been introduced to the Course in Miracles, yes? Yeah, so, all right, just let me read the first 7 lessons and see what hits you. Yeah, this isn't, don't get a pen, and you don't have to do anything. Let's just listen to the part of the front, the first part of it. So lesson 1. So obviously this has a little bit of importance, yeah? If you're going to set out on a course of 365 lessons, lesson 1 would seem to have some importance, all right? Like in AA, it's the first step, that you have to be very clear that you're screwed and you're not managerial quality. Yeah, that's important. Then that opens you up to understanding the other steps. So here are the lessons. Nothing I see in this room means anything. What? Yeah. Yet there's meaning going on. All right, so let's just hold back from that. This is the statement. Don't blame me. I'm just sharing it from a book, Course in Miracles. Yeah. Nothing I see in this room, and then he tries, of course, because people would find some loopholes, so it goes a little further. On this street, from this window, in this place. Yes, basically a blanket. Nothing I see anywhere means anything. All right, that's the first lesson. So what happens? What are you supposed to do? Nothing. You just let that hit you, yeah? And then it asks you to look around the room and see, because when you do, you'll see, and then there'll be a something you saw, yeah? But there'll be a blank time when there's no meaning. There's just seeing, yeah? Yeah, yeah. All right, but let's go to lesson 2. So nothing I see in this room means anything. All right, lesson 2. I have given everything I see in this room all the meaning that it has for me. Do you feel like you've been doing that all day? Yeah? I have given everything. Now, this is questionable. I wouldn't say this is the I. It's the I, the little me I. Yeah? I've given everything I see in this room all the meaning it has for me. Okay, that's the second one. So nothing has any meaning, and now we give everything all the meaning it has. What's that but dreaming? Yes? What else could it be? There's appearances that have no reality, yet we give them reality. Yeah? So in the dreaming, there'll be a dream tiger that if you weight it, it has no weight. It's not 220 pounds. It doesn't have 4-inch fangs. It appears that it does, yes? We give it that meaning that it's real, and now it has the ability to scare the bejesus out of us, yes? And you can try any kind of logic of being okay with a tiger breathing down your neck, but basically the relief comes when you wake up in the morning, yes? There's very few strategies that work that if you're sitting next to a fucking gnawing tiger, that you're going to be cool, calm, and collected, breathing, whatever, visualizing. No. The relief comes from waking up. Yes? Yes. When you wake up from the dream, you realize something. What do you realize? The tiger wasn't real. Yeah? So the effects leave very quickly, don't they? You don't have to go over it to get released from the dream. Just waking up from it has released you in a way from the dream. Okay, so nothing was meaning anything. Then there's an activity. The mental state projects, and then the mental state perceives as if what it projected was real. So it projects a dreaming tiger, sees it as real, and it produces effects based on the meaning that's been given to the tiger. Not based on the tiger, yes? Because if it was based on the tiger, there'd be no effects because it's not a real tiger. If you don't want to go this way, just let me riff. I feel like stretching out my little marathon. He's been in the closet all day. Let me just run around wild. Maybe there'll be some droppings that will be valuable, some nuggets. Yeah. Okay, so first, let me just go back quickly. Nothing I see in this room means anything. Wow. Yeah. But the beautiful thing is they're seeing, yes? The seeing is established. Let's call awareness, yeah, because you become aware of it maybe through vision or smell or touch, yes? So, but let's not say seeing is vision, it's awareness, yeah? So the seeing is there, and that's that. That's the beautiful reality, yeah? Now, the thing is, everything I see, yeah? Let me go back to it. No, nothing I see in this room means anything, even though there's been a lot of meaning given to it, yeah? I have given everything in this room all the meaning it has for me. Not all the meaning it has, because you're going to give it a meaning, yeah? Seemingly, where you're located. I'm giving it a meaning. Everyone's going to have a subjective dream, yeah? In other words, it's not all of us are in the same dream, is it? Or in the same dreaming. We maybe have the same stage and the same arena and the same, let's say, how many people can be seated in it, but basically it's a subjective event. Yeah. Okay, lesson 3. I do not understand anything I see in this room. so let's, nothing I see means anything. I'm giving it all the meaning it has, and now I do not understand anything I see in this room because there's been a meaning given to it, yeah? So now the meaning is, let's say the meaning has appeared in a certain way, and it seems to have stepped out of the space that it's in, but an appearance is just space, yeah? If the appearance disappeared, would space weigh a little less? No, the appearance didn't take any space. It appeared in space. It didn't take up any space, yeah? So now, so nothing has changed, yes? It just seems to have changed, all right? I do not understand anything I see, yes? And this is when the head starts interpreting and explaining and telling you the story of your life, yeah? 4, these thoughts, and these thoughts are the storytelling, these thoughts do not mean anything. They are like the things in the room. Whoa, wait a minute. So, because there's no meaning in the things, but the thoughts seem to give a lot of meaning. But the thoughts are exactly like the things we're seeing. They don't mean anything. Now, how do they mean a lot is by the I feel. When there's an owning of the thought is given a lot of juice, yes? Unbeknownst to us, there's a transfer of meaning or energy from whatever we represent here, I would say the dreaming, into the vehicle of the dreamt, yeah? So now the thought can ruin my day, but the thought doesn't mean anything. How could it ruin my day? Yeah? Okay, so these thoughts do not mean anything. Then you go to lesson 5. I am never upset for the reason I think. Now, these are sort of absolute. It's not saying, but based on special situations, you can be upset for the reason you think. It's a pretty grand statement. I am never upset for the reason I think. Wow. Yeah. All right. So now lesson 6. I am upset. So now this is the diagnosis. First, it says it's like being ourselves reality. Now the diagnosis is I am upset because I see something that is not there. So You can't blame what you see to be what's fucking with you because it's not there. It's you. It's the mental activity. The dreaming of Paul is what's fucking with us. Yes? Because it basically said, I am upset because I see something that is not there. How can I be upset with that then? If it's not there. And then the beautiful 7 captures the reason why all the other first 6 lessons are the way they are. I see only the past. Yeah. Yes. So I look through program, I see programming, I react in a programmed way. Yes. I'm not talking about you and I'm talking about the head. Yes. And basically all these things is I'm seeing only the past. Yeah. So he says here, this idea is particularly difficult to believe at first, yet it is the rationale for all of the preceding ones. It is the reason why nothing that you see means anything. It is the reason why you have given everything you see all the meaning that it has for you. And this I that's giving it isn't you. Yeah, you're not the I that's giving meaning. Yeah, you're the seeing of it all. Yeah. It is the reason why you do not understand anything you see, because what you would try to do if you thought you were doing this, you would try to not do this. Yeah. You would get bound by these lessons. But the great news is you get a beautiful description of what you're not. And by seeing it as not you, you don't pick up a fucking finger. You don't have to do anything. Yeah. Because something is withdrawn from it. Maybe a large withdrawal or a small withdrawal. But when that attention and interest is withdrawn from this, there's a lightness that shows up in your life. Yes? So it is the reason why you do not understand anything you see. It is the reason why your thoughts do not mean anything and why they are like the things you see. It is the reason why you are never upset for the reason you think. It is the reason why you are upset because you see something that is not there. How are you going to vanquish that? If you see an enemy that is not there, trying to vanquish it isn't going to work. Yes? Vanquishing it or setting up a wrestling match is just going to give a reality to it. Yeah? You don't do anything about it, the information. Let it hit and see what happens. Because basically, you're like a deck of cards. You may think you're the ace and you're dominant over the 51 other cards, but you're not. The ace is just another card, and life's going to shuffle the whole deck. Yeah? And then you're going to see things in a different manner. You'll see, just like the awake dream, this is almost presenting like we have in this experience here. We have a morning that usually is the waking up from the dream at night. This is like a morning. It's giving you a 7-lesson morning so you can wake up. Yeah. Instead of thinking you were dreaming last night, it shows you how this is an awake dream. Yeah. Because you're not seeing anything. You're giving everything all the meaning it has, and it has no meaning. It's a beautiful negation. Yeah. This is why, upon arrival and having never left, nothing needs to be undone. What you lose is an interest in it being done. Yes? You start doubting its reality. You don't try to change its reality. You doubt it. Yeah? When I did lesson 2, every time I've entertained lesson 2, I've seen nothing. Every time for a second or two. And then the chair would appear, then the TV, then the person. Every time. I remember I was at this Course in Miracles place. I walked by a seminar in lesson 2, and I heard it said it, and the whole thing, I saw the nothing for about a second, and then it all filled in. Yeah? It's like the Matrix, when the cat walks by the threshold twice. There's been the dreaming has to reboot. Yeah? There's a seeing. Yeah? a seeing that can never be put back in the box. So we study what you're not. Yeah. Is this a subjective experience or isn't it? And if it is, what better attribute of dreaming is that? It's the essence of dreaming. There's nothing there. We see things appear and then we react as if they're so. Yes? And then the thoughts are just like everything else. The thoughts about what's not so are also not so. And then we rely on them to get us out of what we're not in? Yes. Or try to find what we are, being what we are at all times? Yes. Yeah. Thinking that I separated from the Godhead and I don't know how I'm ever going to get back, so let me do years of service and martyrdom and shit like that. Yeah. Only all that sacrifice is sacrificing the reality of freedom now for a hope for reality down the road. Yes? Don't you see it? Haven't you felt the difference between a thought and my thought? Haven't you? See, if you have, let's say, a dualistic view as the scale, yeah, without the non-duality view, yeah, there's going to be a lot of assumptions that aren't true. The non-duality view it's just entertaining the possibility, hey, this may not be true. Maybe you're giving everything all the meaning it has, and the you that's doing it isn't you. Yes? Hallelujah. If I hear that it was me giving everything all the meaning it has, I would try to change the meaning I'm giving certain things. But it disarms that because it's not you that's doing what wants to be changed or should be different. Yes? So this spiritual message doesn't motivate a call to arms. You don't put your spiritual armor on and go to war. It's disarming. You relax. Yes? Why? Because you're not all of that. That which can be known cannot be that which is knowing. I find a great relief in it. I do. An incredible relief. Yeah. I don't think I've had 1 second of spiritual seeking in 20 something years, really. Unless spiritual seeking was the name of a new sandwich or something, or a coffee drink, then I probably would. But basically, the act of attempting to use what I am to find what I am in some way has been muted. Fantastic. Great. Yeah? Yeah. So I recommend not being a master of the Course in Miracles, but maybe just read the first 20 lessons, yeah. Or just maybe the title of the first 20 and check it out. That group I was with in the Course in Miracles, they would just give you a little booklet of the first 20, and the dear one, the master, that's what he would recommend. At least sort of look at the first 20, because he knew better. He knew no one was probably going to do the 365 lessons. Probably not. It didn't matter if he stood over them, they probably wouldn't do it. It's just, I mean, it's very, very unusual when people, and usually if they do it, there's a different reason for it than it's like trying to be relieved of that self as that self. Yeah. So basically, just look at the first 20. Yeah. Let that hit you. And maybe it'll at least give you a sense of dreaming, not as the idea of a noun called a dream, but as the activity of dreaming, of meaning being given. Yes. Yeah. It helps. I felt it helped with me. I mean, when I say the word dreaming, there's a lot. It's chock full of meaning to me. Yeah, of relief, really. It is. I mean, it means a lot. It set off a lot of avalanches. Yeah. So, all right, Sina, release the Krakens.
I really enjoyed that. Thank you, Paul. We have Stuart. His hand is up.
Stuart.
Hi, Paul. How are you going? I just
Good.
having a good experience there listening to you, the Course in Miracles. I just wish, like, because I was doing the course for about 10 years, you know, and joining the so-called cult with the dear one and all that stuff, and had some really great experiences, you know, always. But I wish, in a sense, when I'd done the lessons twice, you know, so it was like, I was desperate. Yeah. And I just wish I had a preempt at the beginning. This is not about you, you know. It's like, it's all about me escaping. Yeah. It was, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But just listening to you then, or it's almost like, man, yeah, I might do the course again. I don't know. I'll have a look. But I gave my books away, but I see them differently now. Those lessons, the words I do, I just see it differently. It's not about me. It's crazy though. It's a bit of a trick.
Yeah, you can't know what's knowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can know what's not. You can know what can be known, which is a figure. This.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I would get to the end of the last lesson and it's like, holy shit, I'm still here, you know, I haven't escaped anywhere, you know. Oh man, and then start beating myself up, you know.
That's right. Yeah, because we put when the freedom is objectified, it's like a meritocracy. It's like something that needs to be earned and shit like that. It's never the immediacy of relief. It's it's a slavery way. It's a slavery.
Yeah. I got to say though, with the dear one, the first time I seen him, he blew my mind, mate. It was like he just did. I don't know why, but he did. It was like crazy. You know? So
He's a trip.
Yeah.
Talking about having shit go over your head. He definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I know. I remember I was there at 999 when the world was supposed to end. I didn't know it was that significant. I thought it was a sort of a joke, but people were serious. A lot of Aussies had showed up.
Yeah.
And I was staying in a motel, and then the second day I didn't have a ride, so I hitchhiked, and he picked me up. Deal one picked me, took me to the thing, and then he was telling me, "Do you want to be healed?" And he said, "It's already done." Like I said, "Wait a minute, I didn't," because I wasn't seeing anybody. So I was like, "Wow, briskest healing, nothing ever happened." Yeah. We used to hang out with him afterwards because he was in AA at one time too.
Yeah, he was pretty big in that, wasn't he?
Yeah, we did a big video, him and me and about 7 other AA people that they used to bring to prisons. Yeah. So we had that bonding of being in AA. Yeah, it was a trip. I mean,
a big trip. Probably the biggest trip I've had apart from non-duality. Like, not really a trip.
Yeah. So I find that the funny thing is the relief will be discovered not through time and space, but through a loss of interest in time and space.
Yes. Yeah.
It's almost as if you trip over it while you're on the path. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
You're looking
Or
through time to find something in a future, and you're stepping right on it now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I maybe it's a bit like a homeopathic sort of a deal in a sense of, you know,
Yeah.
it's yeah, a little is a lot in a sense of.
Yeah, it's like a quintessence. You get a little drop, it goes a long way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, that's what I feel Satsang is for me. It's an hour, but man, that is friggin', I don't know, that stays with me all day. It does, you know,
Well, great.
for sure.
Well, it's good.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
that's yeah. Because here there's we're swimming through it's not we, but there's a swimming through the waves of time and space, yes,
yeah,
and volatile conditions, and seeking stabilization where there isn't any, and always looking at things that for something they can't deliver, yeah, which
yeah,
Buddhism explains a lot. You're not going to get permanent happiness through temporal things. It just doesn't
yeah,
work. Yeah.
yeah,
So there's all this teaching that tries to point all this out so that there can be just a calming down and a migration of interest into what actually is happening now. Yeah. And
yeah,
what is readily available at all times. And so when you read something, it doesn't seem to be another call to arms. You read it as if it's describing what you're not, which is awesome.
yeah,
Because if it's
yes,
not much you need to do.
yeah,
Really, all
yeah.
you need to do is it's not you. It doesn't
Oh,
mean you got to change everything.
yeah, although I got to say this morning, like there's a seemingly, it was sort of like a bit of uncomfortableness seeing what I'm not, in a sense. It felt, I don't know, sticky or something, or uncomfortable. It was sort of weird, a bit of an energy thing, maybe.
Right? It just, but it gives you such an assurance, I feel.
Yeah, yeah, that I'm
No
not
matter
that.
where you seem to go or get taken to, and then you're always seemingly brought back to on having never left. So
Yeah,
yeah, after
yeah,
a while, you lose interest in all that frequent flyer miles, and you're at the destination already.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's probably just a memory or something.
And then you're taking excursions, which are nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
You think
yeah,
of it. Yeah.
yeah. It's lovely. Yeah, 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 and laughing more, which is great.
Well, yes. Well, yeah. That's
Ah,
essential. Not
yeah, it's good.
just
Thank you, Paul.
laughing at self. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Paul.
It's hilarious. Yep. Thank you. The absurdity of the head will never disappoint. It's just, it's yeah. All right. Anyone else? Sina?
I do not see any hands.
I have a feeling there's 24 minutes left. Let's see. I'm gonna feel how it feels. 24 minutes.
No,
It
that's
was just like the
incorrect.
25th minute, and
Closed.
like the 23rd minute. All
17.
right.
Bruce
Someone's
has
here.
his hand up.
I'm sorry. I know someone's here.
Bruce.
Okay, I'm here. Hey, Paul.
Hey,
Yeah, it sounds a repeat of this morning. Oh, my heart is pounding. Yeah, when I was working as a cleaner at the college, I had a paper allotment each semester. Took me 2 semesters to download the rough draft of the Course in Miracles. It was done all alone. I had no guidance. So I don't recommend that to anyone. I don't know whether it was 2,000 pages. Anyway, and then I went to the Noble's bookstore, and there was one copy of gifts from the Course in Miracles.
Hmm.
And it was like an 80-year-old Zen Buddhist master, myself, and 2 teenage sponsees. We used to horse around before and after the meetings. And we would just open that book, read one line, and just go into immediate laughter because it always hit, what was going on. Anyway, I just wanted to share that as my experience. So, please don't go through that. No, the way you put it is a lot more understandable and direct.
Yes. Well, yes. It's we're trying to play the role of Evelyn Woods. Reading. Yes, we're trying to play that role.
But to be the person that was recording this, I don't know how the rough draft was actually written.
Well, they've studied a lot of that. People have a lot of fondness for it. So there's a lot of people are very clear about the history of that transmission or download. I'm not, but they are a lot. The group that we were with in Wisconsin, they had trouble with the people who were copywriting the Course in Miracles. They believed it was the mind of Christ, so it should be open source. So this was the story. They went to Edgar Casey's museum down in the East Coast and stole it, the manuscript, and then copied it and then put it back in. So they got the original. Oh yeah, and they won the case in court. Now anyone can publish a Course in Miracles book. They won the case. Yeah, so it's pretty trippy.
Yeah, open source.
Yeah, so nice to see you, Bruce. I'm happy you
Thanks.
traveled well. Yeah.
Deborah?
Hey, signer, don't let Paul H. ask any questions. Don't let me ask any questions.
So you're not open source
Keep
then,
an
huh?
eye. Keep his hands in sight at all times. Right now, I can see his 2 hands, so no virtual hand, no hanky panky. All right, who's
Deborah.
next? Deborah, how you doing, Deb?
Oh, I'm doing good. Do you remember the book by Suzuki called Beginner's Mind?
Yes, I remember
Sound
that.
familiar?
Well, we used to do that. We went to the Zen Center in San Francisco.
Yeah,
where
and I just realized that it's kind of saying what you're saying is before the mind starts to claim or whatever, that would be beginner's mind, right? It would be like that which is looking, or the
Yes.
looking.
Yeah, that which
So
is
it's
before.
word.
Yeah. Yeah, you could see it that way. I
Yeah,
think
I
it's open
tripped over
to
that book.
interpretation. Hmm?
I was cleaning an apartment years ago and I tripped over that book, and it did really actually put me on a different, even back then it gave me this little kind of glimpse of
Yeah.
like, well, what is beginner's mind? And then it was like kind of the newborn baby that isn't identified with, it's like the child, the look from before all that stuff starts happening
Yeah.
in the head.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
see it that way. Yes.
Well, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Steve Cole.
Hmm?
Hi,
Oh,
Paul.
Steve. Hey, Steve.
It's one of the first times I've been on your Zooms. it's really interesting mentioning all this because about, oh, I don't know, the 20 years ago, I was studying nonviolent communication and I went on a retreat to Switzerland with a friend of mine. And he had a Course in Miracles with him, and I never actually looked at it. And it's probably longer than 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. And the irony is that for the last 20 years, I've been involved in this stuff. So it's just like, I guess I wasn't ready back then. And hearing you read those first couple lessons, it's like, yeah, after being with my other teachers, yeah. So it's for me, it's like one of those serendipity kind of things. I love when this stuff comes together like this. So I'm grateful that you have this, and hopefully you can come to Southern California again. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually surprised we haven't yet, but we will soon.
Cool.
Yeah. And we'll always put it on the website, but we'll be coming down there. We
Cool.
like it, so.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
I like it
Yeah.
up there. I like it up there too. I would just out of sync. I lived up in the Bay Area and then found out about all this stuff when I moved away. So
yeah, I like the green up here, the dark, the redwood stuff. I like a lot. Yeah.
I'm from New Jersey. I know what you mean.
Oh
It's
yeah.
The
I
ground.
like New Jersey too. My friend who I stay with, we were just there about a month ago. He has a very nice house on a lake up there.
Wow.
Beautiful. Great.
Yeah.
What was it? Hopa Kong or something like. It was very nice.
Definitely sounds like an area not near me.
Yeah.
I grew up. I was raised outside the city, but always wanted to go out into the.
Oh yeah. Yes. Well, yeah. New Jersey. Yeah. It has its places for sure.
It sure does.
Yeah. This was more in. There was a lot of lakes around this area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they call it the Garden State, but I never lived near the garden. So.
I've been going there a lot because I used to speak there twice a year. For about 16 years or something. So, yeah, I like it there. I like the people a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Nice to see you, bro.
Nice to see you. Take care.
Yep.
I don't see any hands up.
Well, let me read something again from the course, just to point something out. If you're interested, this is from this one, page 468. It's probably one of my, I've never read the whole thing, but this is my favorite reading. It's the third paragraph. I'll just read it quickly. I'll take 7 minutes. Yeah, that should be good. All right. Yet we have heard a very similar description earlier, but it was not of you. Yes, the only anything and everything and anything that can be described is not of you. You are indescribable, incomprehensible, inscrutable. Yeah. So, yet we have heard a very similar description earlier, but it was not of you. But still, this strange idea, which it does accurately describe, what is that strange idea? Let's call it selfing, yes? That you're a long-lasting, independent, separate thing. This is a very strange idea. So, but still, this strange idea, which it does accurately describe, you think is you. That's the only way you think is you. Yeah. Thinking is necessary to take yourself to be something that you're not. Yeah. It's completely necessary. Reason would tell you, and the Course uses the word reason a lot, but you can say wisdom. Yeah, in a sense. So reason would tell you that the world you see through eyes that are not yours must make no sense to you. Sure sounds like lesson 2 and 3 and 4, yeah? Yeah. To whom would seeing such as this, to whom, all right, so this would be the object of the messaging. To whom would seeing such as this, here's the messaging, yeah, send back its messages. Surely not you, yeah? So basically, there's a loop of self-importance back and forth. So there's data collected, yeah, digested, spitting out more data, more collection, on and on and on and on and on. Yeah. To whom would seeing such as this send back its messages? Surely not you. That's beautiful. They use the word surely, right? Because that means it's pretty damn obvious. It's not like metaphysical or mystical. It's not a labyrinth that you get to not you. It says surely not you. I mean, surely you couldn't be that dumb to think this was going to work, let's say. People would say that to me. I mean, it's obvious to everyone else, don't do it, but then I do it. So surely not you. Whose sight is wholly independent of the eyes that look upon the world. Now, the eyes that were looking upon the world were more about the lessons we were reading, not the sight that's independent from those eyes, yes? The sight, let's imply it as awareness. So, whose sight is wholly independent of the eyes that look upon the world. If this is not your vision, what can it show to you? It's not your vision. That's the point. Yeah? You got a whole you have a whole system of vision and seeing and collating and coming to conclusions for the purpose of showing it's not you. That's the purpose of it. That's its true value, is it's failing. Yeah. The brain interprets what your vision sees. So there's the awareness. It said that. You see that everything in the room doesn't mean anything. The seeing is there. That's the basis. Yeah. The brain cannot, so if this is, all right, the brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. This you would understand. The brain interprets to the body of which it is a part. That's simple, yeah? The brain interprets to the body of which it is a part. So what's seeing is attributed to being a body from the brain's point of view, yeah? Yes. But what it says you cannot understand, yet you have listened to it. And I'll add the word ad nauseum, yeah? Just to give it a little feel. And long and hard you tried to understand his messages, okay? You have not realized it is impossible to understand what fails entirely to reach you. You have received no messages at all you understand, for you have listened to what can never communicate at all. Think then what happens. So when this condition is on and unaware of us, we're not aware of this condition, we're taking it to be us, yeah? Denying what you are is what's happening. There's a denying of what you are and firm in faith that you are something else. This something else that you have made to be yourself. See, I don't believe you have made it to be yourself. It has made it to be yourself, yeah? I don't feel like you have any fucking thing to do with it, really. But the mental state has made it to be yourself, right? This something else that you have made to be yourself becomes your sight. So now you're not living from awareness. You're living from a point of view called self-centeredness. Yeah? And that point of view is the active denial of awareness, really. From that point of view, you're a someone who has awareness. From awareness, there is no someone. But from this, from the know someone, from there, it thinks it's aware. Yes? Don't try to change it. See, it's not your point of view. It's just another point of view, self-centered. Yeah? All right, so I'll do this quickly. Yeah, this last part. I think this is incredible, though. Denying what you are and firm in faith that you are something else, this something else that you have made to be yourself becomes your sight. Yet it must be this something else that sees and as not you. Yeah? So this is why you see only the past, because you're not seeing. Yeah? Your seeing is independent of these eyes that only see the past. We have it in AA called resentment, a re-feeling of something. So I get resentful now based on a past idea of having that it had happened some other time. So I relive a feeling. And then I blame that other person just like I was blaming the first person. Yeah? It's a re-feeling, a rethinking, a re-perceiving, a re-understanding. It's just on and on. Yeah? So it must be this something else that sees and is not you, explains its sight to you. Yes. Your vision would, of course, render this quite unnecessary. Yet if your eyes are closed and you have called upon this thing to lead you, asking it to explain to you the world it sees, you have no reason not to listen, nor to suspect that what it tells you is not true. Well, now you do. You have a pretty damn good reason to suspect. Yes? The whole point of satsang is to bring about a suspicion of that which we used to have no reason to suspect. Yeah? We just took ourselves to be the thinker. Yeah? The doer, the haver, the loser. Now, no. We're looking at it and seeing if it's true or not. Yes? Not in a book, but in our own lives. So yeah, all right, that should have taken up 7 minutes. Yeah. Now I'm telling you, at 4:25, I had no idea I was going to read anything from the Course in Miracles. I think around 4:27, it dawned on me. Yeah. All right, so is that it, hon? Yeah? Yeah. All right, well, let's say goodbye. Saina, thank you. Thank you for everything, really. You run the whole show. You're, yeah. I wish I could have drafted you into zenbitchslap.com. We'd be a lot more organized. Yeah, but I missed my shot. Yes. Maybe I can, you may get called by a headhunter. Yeah. We're going to try to steal you from Awakening Together. But we don't even have any offices for Zen Bitch Slap. Why not we use the Awakening Together offices, but you'll be working for us? How's that? That's good. Yeah, so we don't have to pay any rent. All right. All right, so we've got Connie. Connie left the place. There's just one dot on a wall. That's interesting. Now you tell me what that means when you look at that. It doesn't mean shit. And then suddenly your head will, is it a fire thing? It looks like a little dot. All right, Kerry, there he is. Kerry hasn't probably provoked any anger or done anything stupid for the last few hours. That's monumental. Fantastic. Very happy to see that. Yes. We're going to pass over Paul H. immediately. Deborah, nice to see you. Tommy, I never see Tommy, but it's nice to see you, Tommy. We got Hallie, which I've been getting her name right, correct. There's Zoe. Zoe's, she's ready. Yeah. Yes. If you need any posture to get this message, laying down is a good one. It's a good one, yeah. Yeah. We got Gail. She's at the
I'm
living
stalking you
from the pink cloud.
now. I'm stalking you now.
Oh,
Thank
stalking me.
you.
Well, I'm easy to be found. Yeah. I don't put up any struggle. Yes. We
Thank you,
got
Paul.
Kelly. Nice to see Kelly. Oh, you're welcome. Steve Cox, Andy W. We got this is like the heavyweights here. Bruce F. Donate here. Yes. Jody, William, non-duality. He dropped the whole word. That was a good move, probably. Oh, there it is. I'll let you finish the rest of the words. iPhone, I think it's Mia. Nice to see you, Mia. Sue K, thank you for all the lattes. I had a very nice one today. Thank you. Another Kim. Jody. I think that's about it. Listen, thank you for this opportunity. Yes. Always a pleasure to sit with everybody. And if you're ever interested in Zen Bitch Slap, just go to the website, go to the event page. We try to keep it up to date as best we can. And all the Zooms are there. I don't think there's any passwords, and just come and join us, yeah? And I'll see some of you tomorrow, and adios.